Hello everyone, welcome to Ring Diaries here at Church of Uganda Family TV with me, Phiona Mbowa, where we talk about anything and everything to do with marriage. I bring you real people sharing their real experiences so that we can see how we make our marriages work. Marriage cannot be done in singularity. We need to be able to learn from each other, and it doesn't matter how long you've been married, there's always a space to learn. And this evening, I'm excited to host an amazing couple, the Musisis, but Big Daddy and Big Mommy.
Thank you.
We've been married for 24 full years. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Fiona.
How is marriage, first of all? How is marriage?
Okay, first of all, let us respect the people of Namirembe, especially the owners of Family TV, for having us here. We are profoundly honored. We respect you, Dr. Kazimba, and your team. So what was the question again?
How has been the 24 years of marriage?
Okay, mixture of agony and ecstasy.
You've gone to two extremes. Agony and ecstasy. I like that.
Yes, God has been there for us. My name is Big Daddy, and this is Big Mommy. And we allowed God to be at the center of our marriage. My wife being a lawyer, if you don't have God in the law, then you become either a Pharisee or so I'm a scientist who, by God's grace, I believe in the Bible.
You're a scientist?
Yes.
Who believes in the Bible? That's
yes, and do you know what kind of scientist I am? I've studied space and astronomy and satellite navigation. So we have 1,000 ways of proving how the world has come to existence. With all that kind of stuff, there's no way you can handle marriage unless you allow Jesus Christ to be at the center of your marriage.
Wow.
Why are you laughing, Fiona?
That's amazing. But also, how are you putting astronomy and God and those two are together?
Okay, now I've said this many times on various TVs that in astronomy we claim and say the world has been in existence thousands and thousands of years. And that's what I teach even at universities and the higher institutions of learning. But that one I do for money. You know,
It's not the truth.
It's not that truth. That truth is the biblical truth, the world which was created in Genesis. So my faith helps me to see celestial bodies and amazing what God has done in space.
Things you're talking about, first of all. Anyway.
That's what I live
Big
with.
Mommy, how do you live with that for 24 years?
But I can praise the Lord,
Amen.
and I'm very privileged to be here, and by God's grace, and to be grateful to live with such a human being. It's a blessing. He's amazing. He's a very good man.
Very intelligent.
Yes, very
Thank
intelligent. Out of this world sometimes.
Like even physical.
But with God, everything is possible.
That's true.
24 years of a journey has been interesting. I would ably say that it has been very interesting, with so many amazing surprises every other day. Life has a lot of those things. We just have to stand in the right place and see it that way. Marriage could seem very complicated to some people, but I chose. It's a choice. Life is what you make it. I chose to walk the marriage life, take it one step at a time, and I tell you, it has been amazing. When you do not place a lot of expectations out of the world expectations, and you live here and enjoy every day as it shows up, I have had a good time. I wouldn't choose otherwise. I wouldn't choose to be single. I wouldn't choose
any other man.
I think I would do him again.
I
I would still do this man.
With all his philosophies and all that.
Yes.
Interesting.
There is a part of him that is very down to earth. The people that interact with him on social will tell you. He has so many versions as a human. Yes.
And you're able to live with all those versions.
My children will tell you a different version of him. His in-laws, my brothers, will tell you a different version of who he is. And me who works with him, I've had the opportunity to only work for him. It's been
and that is actually what I want us to focus on.
I have had the opportunity to live and work and submit and quarrel with him and disagree. on very many basics of life. Basically, in business, it's very different. It's out of this world when it comes to business.
So the two of you have been doing business together?
Yes.
For how long?
All the 24 years. When I married this man, he told me something I remember as if he told me yesterday. He said, no man is going to employ my wife. He told me that after I married him. Before, it was okay, you go work, you fly the world, you do what you want.
Until you got there and now no man is
When
going
I
to
was
employ.
in his house, he told me those things. No man is going to employ my wife. I'm not going to give orders here and someone orders had that. So you're going to sit here and
Could
work
a woman employ her if it's not a man?
No.
So I have had, I would say, the opportunity of not working for anybody.
You've worked with him
I have worked
for 24
for.
years.
I have worked for.
For him, not even with him, but for him.
The with is another story, but for him. So if I'm successful, it is him. If I have failed, it is him. He's been my boss all my 24 years.
So big, why are you calling you Big Daddy?
Yes.
Where did that even
Okay.
come from?
Big Daddy, Big Mommy. Number one, Big Mommy is a school in Entebbe. It's nursery, primary. Big Daddy is a secondary school, Kansas Big Daddy School in Mukono, Boyikwe. Those are two brands. But we also have Big Daddy Transport Company, Big Mommy Logistical Company.
Well,
So
why Big Daddy?
we branded ourselves because we have a big God. So we are the two bigs and we have the biggest up. The other thing, we wanted to give an impression, especially Big Mommy for the school, that if you walk in the school, you expect a big woman to take care of your children.
Honestly, I was also
It's an
waiting
illusion.
for
I know
big
you are
woman.
disappointed by her
Yes.
size already. Woo!
I was waiting
that
for a
was
big
the
woman.
point. That
Yes.
was the point.
Business naming and branding. So in Entebbe, you ask Christine, no one takes you to Christine. Big Mommy, you shout, 10 borders will come take you to Big Mommy. Branding.
Branding. Besides, when I first got married to him, I was very small. And you know what happens when you're very small, everybody, you know? I'm telling you, and I'd been that all my life. So he noticed somehow, figured it out, I was fighting something. No, I was very confident, but I was fighting. Actually, growing up, I fought a lot because I was very small and everybody despised me. So there was that battle within me to look or seem big. So he noticed it, and before I knew it, he said, your school will be called Big Mommy. We got to the school really early because our children had to go through it. So he names it Big Mommy, and I'm like, okay, maybe that will create some illusion. And it has worked.
No, honestly, I was waiting for a big. That's why when you came, I didn't notice.
Yeah. That's the irony and the beauty about it. Yeah.
Anyway, so you've been working for him and you've been working with her for 24 years. How is that? How does that even work out?
Okay. First of all, I believe that God gave me this lady for me to bring out the best out of her.
Okay.
I can go preaching in the other parts of the world, but if I don't preach to her by both words and action, I'm at a loss. So one of the things that I thought I can use her, I've studied some little psychology of women. Women are very detailed. From Entebbe, she will talk for 45 minutes and I'll talk for 2 hours. Women are very good at shopping. When I go to Wino to buy something, they will multiply it 5 times the price. My wife will negotiate. My wife, even if it is Nsenene, she will pick one by one to make sure that she has taken the right thing.
The best.
As if that's not enough, she will even say, this Nsenene is not original. See, Masaka, Phiona. So that's good in women. Now, me, I know that. So I fronted her because in shopping, she will shop the right things.
Yes.
If I go to Nakasero and buy mangoes, there are chances that I'll buy mangoes 5,000 and many of them are rotten. This woman will pick one by one. She will even go to the extreme and get a knife. I will test to make sure that the miembe mutufu. So I decided to bring her on board in all my businesses because of the detailed nature that God gave women. You see, there is a color chart which we put up one time in a study, and a man was able to see 7 colors, where a woman was able to see 37. Like a woman can differentiate shades of red 240 times. You see, and the man will say red, purple will say red. So those details are needed in business. The same way, if you put up a mobile money and you give a woman to manage, a man, if you give a man a million, say, no, zaziweze. Will put there only to count, and the 20,000 is missing. Big man will count one by one and tie into a bundle, and then count, and then go backwards, and then go straight to make sure that the amount is that. That's only an acumen that women have.
Yeah.
So if you're a husband listening to me, the girl child, a woman, are very good business people.
But usually people fear to work with the spouse because, like, how do I differentiate between husband and boss?
This is what I've always said. Those of you who fear to work with your wives, let's go to the bank accounts that you have in Stanbic, in our bank here, which is Equity. We go and check your bank accounts. Those of us who work with our wives, we have money, we have balances. Those of you who don't work with your wives because you have your own illusions, you fear. Muli bavu era temulina sente kubanga muchokosa abakazi bamwe. Baba fera.
Fiona, like seriously. What he's saying sounds like a joke, but it is the power. It is the power. And you know, the devil knows that if you worked with your wife, we have the best interest of this man.
Yes.
Once he trusted me, Fiona, the speed at which we succeeded financially, I will give you a few of them. When we first saw a plot to put a home, that is many years ago, I refused. I said, I won't live here. The first property he got, I told him, I'm not going to live here, can't raise children here. You know, all the kajanja that men fear in women.
Yes.
But we were going to buy that piece of land. It has, I think, 100 by 50, 45 million. But when I said no, yes. When I said no, it was in the municipality.
Oh.
And to me, I was like, what is municipality to me when I have just 150 by 100?
Yeah.
I think we can use this money somewhere. Home is home. It's never far. It's never about the municipality. The development will find us here. So I refused when I saw the property. And he was very upset with me, just like all the other men would be upset.
Yes.
Who are you? Why are you still? I've got the money.
I've
Why?
already got the
You
deal,
see,
you know?
these women. That's what they said. These women. So I refused. And the morning he was going to pay around lunch. He left me home. I wasn't working, you remember? I'm not supposed to be.
Work for any man.
No.
So finally, he's leaving and said, woman, like every other man would, woman, I've gone. And by the time I come back, I have a title. And I have a property. I have a land attached to my name. So I felt so bad because
You were not hard.
Not really. I just felt that bad that she wasn't seeing what I was seeing. We were making a home. And home must feel like home. I wasn't ready to move. I'm very attached. I get attached to things. He doesn't. He lives everywhere. I'm telling you. That's what he told me. Oh, buy another property and live. I am not like that. I'm very, very connected. To cars, to property, to people. That's why I tell you I will still choose him. That's me. So he leaves and I cried. I remember I wasn't working, so I was powerless. So I tell him, you are not buying that property. He said, I am buying it. And it hurt that much. So I turned down and said, Lord, if you are anywhere, either in heaven
You
or
can
earth,
hear me.
I am telling you, if you have ever done anything, please save me from this property my husband is going to acquire. Because in me, there is a place around us here that will feel like home. I do not feel like home in that property. So my husband lives. As soon as he made it to office, a shamba boy, you know shamba boy, was outside the window. When he opened the window like this, shamba boy came to the window and told him, do you intend to buy land that morning at 8?
As he's going out.
As he was coming into office, I am crying.
The shamba boy of the office.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So he's wondering, do you have any interest in land? Because there's one property here that is very cheap one. God answers prayers.
Use the shamba.
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
And I've never forgotten that man. I still invite him over because he was a real angel. So he tells him, a property is within here. And my husband gets back to the car. They drive to the property first. They see it, come back to office, and he said, now this girl, I I assure you I was a very serious girl back then. If she does not like this property, I'm sorry, I will just buy it. This girl will be now the enemy of progress.
Yes, clearly.
So they pick me up, take me to the property, and I tell you, Phiona, I fell
in
at
love.
home. And that's where I live to date. We have put up so many other properties, but I do not feel as home.
But also we saved so much money because we bought,
now
we
I
bought
wanted
it 4.5
I
million.
wanted him to say that.
Remember, we had 45. We have bought it 4.5.
A tenth of
Ten.
So we started construction the next day after
Now
purchase.
pause.
And everybody was saying, Abana Abagaga Phiona.
Now, Phiona, that's why I want all of us as married people to know that when you work together with your wife, do you know I could sense what he couldn't sense? Do you know if I was not to be heard, he was to lose? By the way, let me disclose also to you that property that was going to be sold to us at 45 million had been bought 3 times. We were going to be the 4th.
To buy Aya. They call it
Exactly.
Aya.
So we were going to just lose
all
that.
that.
Let me tell the men watching me here, my brothers,
The husband.
the husbands, that woman has the best interest
From you.
and what they feel, that you do not even want to listen to, is to save you.
I like that as a foundation for this conversation.
You came on earth through a woman, so the women, the wives you have, are not just girls or leaders of opposition.
Abafumbi. I don't call her Mufumbi.
Or mothers to your children.
She's not a cook.
Those women are partners in everything. So we save money. Me, when I was brought to the site, I didn't leave. He was going to office, remember?
So you stayed?
I stayed and I needed to scout. Who is the owner? What does the society say about it? So I started. We had the money. Who was putting concrete, sand to the property before we even inquire it.
Oh my God.
So I am telling you, that woman you have in the house, educated or not educated, wakajanja, si wakajanja, she's a stakeholder in every step of your life.
Wow.
So we used that money, I built that house in 11 days. Simanyi ondaba speed when nalinze look.
To wall plate.
Yes, of course he did the architect, he did the licensing, and everything, the stamps from the municipal council. But I was on ground. It is our duty as girls, as women, to watch over that money. And I tell you, not even a spade of musenyu or cement was wrong.
But do you think a worker can do that?
Nobody. And I tell you, I was a serious girl. So even the workers were like, this girl doesn't leave the site at all.
Have what chance of stealing anything?
So they did not rob us. In about 30 days, I had a house. I want you to think about that, Phiona. I had a house. And I was ready to move in. I saved money. I felt
like the money that I'm still even hanging on the point that the money that was supposed to buy land, I actually bought land and built a house.
Because I fronted
so
my wife.
At the end of that day, every man has everything to lose if they do not trust those girls.
So instead of looking at it as a burden, I'm going to be with her morning, evening, look at the positive.
There's a lot that we have. Of course, we have had our quarrels. We are not the same. I'm not from his family. We have different values over.
Even if you're from the same family, you can still quarrel.
Exactly. So what you're trying to avoid is what is most valuable. And the devil knows Phiona, knows if this woman's idea is taken, then this man is going to run at a very fast speed. And he doesn't like that. So to many of us, you look at your partner as, we have weaknesses too. He has.
Yes.
I have. And at the end of the day, it is for good. You will notice that in a couple where you're strong, they are weak. And you think they should be like they are in your life for that particular weakness that you have, that they will uphold you. There are so many times you've gone to acquire property. Well, what I want to thank my husband for is when he discovered those vacues, he allowed me. For example,
he gave you a chance to shine.
When we are buying property, he will see. Of course, they come to you and tell him there's this property on sale. And then you say. So when I go, they look at this lousy girl and they give me a different price.
Compared to
Yeah.
You.
Yes.
I know.
The
So
price goes 5 times when I walk in. Ha!
So I go alone, speak when I talk of small money. I really look small money, you know. And we have acquired so much. So when you notice that, it doesn't even bother. In our house, we have noticed who is good at what and let them shine in that area.
Can I explain that in a minute? Who is
please.
good at what? There is what they call the alpha effect. At home, I have dogs. But when you give them food, there is one dog which chases the others and begins eating alone. Even our cooks and cooking, there is one particular one that walks with all the female chicken. So
it's the alpha in
yes,
the
it is like he has extra abilities. Now, in couples, you have to identify the alpha traits.
It's homework.
And you say, who is good at this? There is someone who is the alpha spiritual. And when anything happens, to Sabe, to
Let them
so those
pray.
people, they are praying for Israel, they are praying for Iraq, they are praying for Kenya, they are praying for anything that happens. When they see an accident, they will say, alpha spiritual. There is another one who just says, no, just drive on the other side to avoid accidents. For her, she's on the knees. Alpha traits. Alpha spiritual. Now in our house, now in our house, I am the alpha investor. I create projects, make it happen, but I'm not the alpha manager and I'm not the alpha finance. She is. The other thing that I want to emphasize that this woman is in my life to do the works of the Holy Spirit, to rebuke, to correct, and to teach. So, because there are only 2 helpers in the Bible, I hope Dr. Kazimba is not listening to me. Now, she does the work of the Holy Spirit. So, every time she comes and advises me, I say, the Holy Spirit is using her. And in a number of moments, I've not utilized her advice. Either Natomera or Babamfera or
somehow a regret comes
and
in.
it is
identifying her abilities, bringing the alphas in her.
There are so many families, Phiona, that have women as what
As
it
the
is.
alpha.
They plan, they hatch, they come up with all those ideas, and then the men do not notice that's the reason why that woman is in their life. They beat it down and the family suffers. I just want to thank God that He allowed. He will start. We will leave this place and he has a project on his head, on his mind right now. And I had to get the grace to come after him.
And follow.
And he allowed me manage the finances that I can fulfill those things. He also didn't tell you he's the alpha spender.
Alpha giver.
My husband will spend money as he receives it. And we will stay with nothing. Now my background, I will die if I had nothing. The moment I see it going down, I am sick. I am virtually non-functional. And if he was not smart enough to know that that is why I am in his life, we would be very poor. Happy, but very, because when he gives it, he's so happy.
Yes,
and it is priceless. To me, I look at him and say, what else would give him the joy?
The same joy
like the joy he gets by giving it all. He gives it. My children, one of them, now he's knowing from here, has put him in her phone as selfless. That's what she calls her dad. Because daddy doesn't say no. Daddy does not.
So go all over for people.
The most little says, Daddy tagwamu. Daddy yeka.
Mommy, yeah.
Because I still consider no as an answer. When I say yes, I should say no. Just. Hey, I can't say no. Daddy does not. So I want to tell you, we are in a state that is very dangerous. When the money maker is the chief spender, and he does not have to plan on what to put it. He just lands here and it is gone. Yeah. So when you talk of couples working together and having a lot of pressure, shouts, I would be the one.
Yes.
Because I do not believe in what he does everywhere. I don't. I look at him and say, but we still have debts of 10 million. We have not paid them. You're
You're
taking another 5
to give out.
You didn't even have to give him. He's not needy, but it is in him. So at the end of that day, I am very grateful I am a signatory on all his accounts. And then I can put governors here and there.
Speed governors
Yes,
are
sometimes we have to look at each other like this, and it is okay. And God gave me the grace to live that. So sometimes I'm the black sheep, but it is okay. Why? Because this is my thing. I work so hard for it. People just can't stand there and receive all the time. We also have things to do. We have somewhere we are going. So he has turned me into that. So he's the only giver in the house. I don't have to give at all because it is all
He
gone.
gives already too much.
I'm telling you, to everybody we have had, and you know, there's one challenge I got because working together, you asked, how is it? It would be challenging, but I am very lucky, and I thank God that I look at the positive side of everything. He gives. So we have an account where he gives. When he gives it and it is over, I'm like, yeah,
It is
that's what it is. But we just cannot live without an account where he would give from.
Because
So
that
I got to understand he gives, but we must have a limit to how much he gives so that we live tomorrow. Otherwise we would choke on our goodness.
We're going to take a short break, and
Sure.
when we come back, we're going to continue this amazing conversation about working together as a couple. Don't go away. I'm Phiona Mbowa here at Church of Uganda Family TV with Ring Diaries.